Hey pillars, and welcome back to a brand new cycling video. In this video, I'll be sharing a cycling destination that you have never probably heard of and why I think it is a must visit and a must place to ride. So without further ado, let's jump right into this video. Now, if you've been following the channel as of recently, then you probably know I currently live in Turkey, Antalya, and I came here specifically for training and for living. So I wanted to make a video of why I think Turkey, Antalya is a must place to either do a training camp in, a cycling vacation, or honestly just to visit as well, but obviously to ride and also do things on and off the bike. So after living here and experiencing it day to day, I really want to make a video breaking it down because I haven't seen any videos about Turkey, Antalya, specifically when it comes to cycling. And before I came here, I couldn't find anything on YouTube. So I want to make this video if you're thinking of coming here, because I'd honestly say that it is a very good place to come to. And I want to break it down all right now in this video. So let's jump right into it. Now, the first thing I really want to talk about is the weather in Antalya. Most likely, if you're coming here for a cycling vacation or even for a training camp, it's probably going to be maybe in the winter time. So in November, the highs are 21, lows are 14. December, 16, 10 degrees. January, 15 degrees for the high, 8 degrees for the low. And February, 16 degrees and 10 degrees for the low. So I would say in terms of the weather in the winter time, I've been here in the winter. I've seen cyclists that definitely are able to ride outside, but you need leg warmers, you need arm warmers, you obviously need a base layer. So I would say it's very much like springtime if you're from the East Coast in North America. You can get away with it. It's pretty enjoyable as long as you layer properly, but it's not like super warm. But then again, even if you did like a short ride, if you're doing some intensity, as long as it's not a rainy day, there's a UCI pro race that happens here, I'm pretty sure in February or March, and there we're all wearing short sleeves and short pants. So you should be fine in terms of the winter time. So I would say it's a great place to come if you're trying to get some early season training in. I'm really curious to see in terms of the full winter experience in terms of this year, to see how cold it is, and I'll probably do another update video on that. But in terms of all year, this is a place you can ride pretty much all year long outside. So I'm really excited the fact that I live somewhere where I don't really have to do solid indoor training. I can actually go outside in December if I want to, rather than being forced because there's snow on the road. So Antalya is pretty much warm all year long. And if you don't know where Antalya is actually situated, it's situated on the southern Mediterranean coast of Turkey. So I have a local beach that's extremely warm, extremely beautiful, that is walking distance. So it's so refreshing to just go after a ride and just take a dip and just really relax and enjoy and have some good and needed recovery after a ride. Now, I want to show the gondola and the cable cart just to show the elevation difference that you get so close by to the actual beach line, which is where relatively most people live. So going into this cable cart, you can see this is only 400 meters of elevation, and that road I've climbed and it can go up to 1800 meters of elevation. Now, I'm on a cycling weight loss journey at the moment, so I haven't done the full 1800 meters. I will eventually, but it's just so crazy to me of how easy it is to get good quality training in the mountains. And I would say mountains and fitness go hand in hand. If you ride in a mountainous region, as long as you don't purposely go on flat routes, over time you will be forced to ride in the mountains and you will get better at overall cycling. So I think just the fact that this is so close by, the water, the mountains, the training, it's just so beautiful, such a blessing. Now, I want to show some clips of me riding and just show the road quality. The cars are really good. They are like in Georgia, but I would say the driving's even better. But one thing that I love about Turkey, Antalya, and Turkey in specific, is that there is a moped culture, meaning that because it's warm all year long and there's a lot of people delivering with mopeds, the cars are used to riding with them, so they respect them, so they respect bikes as well. It's not like North America where they're beeping at you every 5 seconds. So I really enjoyed my time riding in the mountainous region, and this is like kind of rural roads, but I will be showing the Strava to show just the type of training in terms of the segments. So I'll make that a segment after I show myself riding, but I just want to talk right now that this is basically like 10 minutes away from the beach. So within 10 minutes, you can go from riding on the beach into the mountains, and here it's like 5% average gradient that goes for like 22 kilometers. So the amount of training quality that you get in Antalya is just, it blows my mind how easy it is. You don't have to ride out far. It's just at your backyard in terms of training. So I'm really thankful just how easy it is. Like, this is such a breathtaking road for training. Like, I know I'm talking, maybe you live in Europe and you're used to this, but in Toronto, Canada, I tell you, there's nothing like this, just farmland. And I've always wanted to cycle in mountainous regions. This gives me like, Alp vibes, or like, the Dolomite vibes. Obviously it's different, but like just the big mountains in the background, nice smooth roads, quiet. It's just something that I've always wanted to ride, as always riding in North America. And the fact I get to experience that in Antalya is a major blessing. I'm just showing my bike right now, rim brake bike, doing totally fine in the mountains. But just, yeah, the elevation is just something that I'm trying to still get used to, trying to get my fitness. This is 400 meters of elevation. So I can only imagine what 1800 meters looks like. And that means like the highest point. Like I've done more than 2000 meters of climbing in a day, but I've never done like straight 1800 meters of elevation on a mountain. So I'm excited to do that and, watch. It's going to happen on this channel. So this is the bike lane that pretty much stretches all the coast of Antalya, the city. So it's just so smart that they have this protected. They have a walking lane and a running lane. So no one really uses the bike path unless they're actually biking. So that's one thing that always triggered me in North America, is like people are walking the bike lane. Here, if you're riding or using like a moped, you're only allowed in the bike lane. So I really like it. And just the weather, it's always optimal. It barely rains since like springtime all the way to winter. So just training day to day, there's never really an excuse. Other than that, it might be too hot, which forces you to ride in the morning. You should always be able to ride. Now I know this video is pretty long, but I'm just gonna ramble and talk about other things I can quickly think about in terms of why I think Antalya is such a good place for training. And I would say it really comes down to the aspect of the training is top notch. I can really give my stamp of approval in terms of the training here, and I will jump into the Strava segments in terms of what we have. So Antalya right here is like the main city, but like I said, the whole province of Antalya is very, very big. And when I was showing and explaining the southern parts, this is where you can do a lot of boat trips on screen, but we have places like Cash, Finike, and there's other places like Khmer here. There is so much variety that you can do in Antalya. You can never really get bored, but if you watch this video and you want to know how good of training that you can get done here, we're going to do it here. Now you got to be careful. Some of these are mountain bike routes, but we'll take this one for example. Number B, we have Canyon 1000. It's 18 kilometers long, 5% average gradient, and the elevation gain is 900 meters. And I'm pretty sure that one actually becomes even bigger if you do the full ascent. So we have another 10 kilometers. So that's almost 1600 meters of climbing. That's 7.3%. Just to show you this one's number A. And if we have number A, this is the Fesliken Complete. That's what it's called. 22 kilometers long, 8.1% average gradient, 1800 meters elevation gain. If you don't think that's crazy training, I don't know what is. And it's so close to the city. The fact that the ocean's right here and you can literally be in the mountains. Like I said, within 10, 15 minutes, that's just top tier training. If we look at E, for example, 33 kilometers at 5% average gradient, 1800 meters elevation gain. That's insane to me. And this one, 5.38 kilometers, very punchy, 10% average gradient, 500 meters of elevation in 5 kilometers. Like, what training? Like, this is all the training you really need if you're trying to become, a top tier cyclist in terms of training, or if you're coming for a beautiful cycling vacation. The fact that you can take this at your own pace, get, massive elevation, get into the clouds, and then just take a nice descent back to your hotel and go to the beach. I think that's really all you need. Now, when it comes to cycling training, I know a lot of riders are very particular about the food that they eat, whether that's, just the produce and, organic, or just knowing where their food comes from and just trying to have it the best, purest version. This is called the Turkish Bazaar, which, every local farmer can come to and sell their produce and sell their food. So I like going here and getting my food just because, the fresher it is, the better I feel. And I think that also relates to the bike. So the fact that you have that accessible is something that's really nice. You don't have to go up far north, in terms of, farmers market. So I think that's really cool. And on the topic of food, there's a lot of cafes and beautiful restaurants that you just get a beautiful experience. This is one of the local restaurants that's Cliffside, and you can just see how beautiful it is at nighttime. Like, I never get bored of that mountain view. And that's something I've always wanted, was water and mountains and good weather. So the fact I kind of get that, I feel very spoiled and very, blessed. The fact that I get to experience this on a day-to-day basis. Now, this is just one of the waterfalls that's local, but there is a bigger one that Antalya is known for, and I just love the Mediterranean vibes. Every time I'm outside by the water in nature, it just feels so peaceful, so relaxing, so at home, and I really do think it is the Mediterranean vibe. That's one of the waterfalls that Antalya, like I said, was known for. So it's just so beautiful. You can just come here by the bike, on the bike path, just vibe out, maybe get a tea, and you can just appreciate the warm weather, the beautiful vibes. And like I was saying before, you can ride on the highway. That's one thing I love about, Georgia or Turkey. Like, they allow you to ride on the highway as long as you follow common sense, and the road quality is very, very good. They do a very good job at keeping the maintenance, and like I said, the drivers are very respectful as well. So I just love how there's no boundaries in terms of where you want to ride. If you want to ride on the bike path, you can ride on the bike path. If you want to ride on the highway, ride on the highway, use some common sense, and it just allows you to do any type of terrain that you want. Look how beautiful those mountains are. I've been on all these roads recently, so it's just really cool. Like, you don't really have to say, no, I can't go there, that's only for no, like, you go to the far side of the road, you're fine. I just think that's so relaxing, so enjoyable. It allows training to be very fluid. This is the boardwalk, and you can just see how peaceful this is. You can just come here after a ride and just vibe out. Just vibe out, appreciate nature, appreciate the ocean, and no one's bothering you. No one's bothering you. It's very chill, and I'm like, I could go on about just how nice it is. There is a tour of Antalya that happens during the winter time here. So like I said, I think this is February, March, but I'm pretty sure February. So they're short sleeves, and people just wearing shorts for the cyclists in terms of what they're wearing. So some have leg warmers or arm warmers, but majority of them are doing like race pace, so their body heats up. So it just shows you how warm it is during the winter time, that we do have a UCI race locally that happens. So in terms of just the weather, that's a good indicator that if there's races happening in February, March, then you definitely can ride here all year long. Like maybe December or January. Maybe January is the coldest, but okay, 1 month indoors, it's not a big deal. This is just a local cafe. Yeah, you can see majority of them have, maybe one guy has arm warmers. The rest are all short sleeve shorts. So it's all good. And just cool. It's just cool aspect of having pro riders being able to come to the place that you call home currently and doing training where you train. It just shows, it kind of validates for me that, yeah, Antalya is a good place for training. So I just wanted to show that. Now I have another video of the bike lane just to show how relaxing it is. This time I was taking like a mini scooter because I had my bike at the bike shop, but going on the bike path, which I have with my bike, it's just most people are following common sense. They respect the bike lane. It's smooth. It's well maintained. It can take you from one end to the other. So if you don't want to deal with, rush hour traffic or just, downtown traffic, you can take this bike lane, go to the other section and go to those mountains. So you really never have to worry about, busy traffic to get to, the mountainous region or like the rural roads. So I feel very safe in terms of riding here. I don't feel I ever really put myself in, situations or environments that really jeopardize my safety on the bike, because you can kind of very well navigate. Like this will take you all the way downtown and you're literally in a protected bike lane away from cars. So I think, Antalya did it very smartly, and they do also have a bike program where you can rent bikes if you don't have one. So that makes it very accessible if you want to come here. And even if you're just coming for casual cycling on the boardwalk, on top of that, having a vacation as well, you can kind of just, get the best of both worlds in terms of just casually riding. And I want to show some more riding. So this is in the south of Antalya, and I want to touch up on the fact of vacation. So you can pretty much go to different destinations within Antalya with your bike, and you can have a totally change of scenery. And it's just full on Mediterranean coastal vibes, and the riding is beautiful. You can ride all through here. And like I said, the road quality is amazing. Now, Turkey, I actually want to share, they actually did something recently where they're revamping their whole like network road system, which means they're putting a lot of money and infrastructure into making their roads really safe, really maintained. So I feel like, honestly, if you have a car, you can go an hour away and have a whole different cycling experience. So it's just cool that you can switch up your environment really fast and have a really change of scenery. But then again, if you were only going to be in Antalya for a week, there's so much riding that like you will not get bored. If you are bringing your bike here for a cycling training camp or for vacation, there are bike shops local, like Bike Stop, that can take care of you. I don't have all my equipment in terms of like a bike stand and all the tools, so for me it's easier to take it to a local shop. And just seeing all the tracks, like you feel good that, oh wow, like this is a real bike shop, they can do all the work on my bike that needs to get done by a professional. So it's just a really ease of mind knowing that you're in good hands. You don't need to worry about having anything in terms of bringing extra maintenance equipment, like everything, chain checker, chain breaker, you gotta put a new chain on for whatever reason it breaks, front brake bleed, like anything you can think of locally they can do, which for me was a great thing that I realized after the fact. Like I said, no videos like this existed, so knowing that there's very well equipped bike shops that have expensive bikes, that have expensive road bikes, means that your bike will be in good hands when you come here if you do need some work done in it for whatever reason. Now, this section of the video is for leisure. So what are you going to do off the bike? There's lots of boating trips that you can do in Antalya, and it's some of the nicest water I've ever experienced in terms of Mediterranean water. It was so warm. I've been to Greece, and Greece is beautiful, but it's just a little colder. The water here was, crystal blue and super, super warm. So I really enjoyed it in terms of just being able to have a 8-hour boat tour and just enjoy yourself, just relax. It's very breathtaking with the mountains, with the ocean, with the vibes. So the fact that this is very accessible, like I said, to do activities like this is 1 hour away from where I'm staying, which is like main Antalya. Antalya is like a big province. The fact that you have all these activities within an hour away from you from the main city of Antalya. Now, Antalya is a big province. It just means that it's so nice that you can do things off the bike. It just doesn't have to be so bike focused. Once the bike's done for the day, you can do other things. And it's not like you have to give, 3 or 4 hours of your time to get to these places. It's very, very local and very accessible. On screen, we have one of the villas I stayed at during the summer. And if I did bring my bike, then the training would have been really enjoyable because of the different terrain that they had at this area. So in this situation, I didn't bring my bike, but if I did, just the vibes and how easy it is to experience different riding. Like, look how beautiful where I am right now. And the fact that you can cycle near that is just something that I just find so breathtaking. And I'm just so passionate about talking about it because you just can't get bored of it. Like, you look at this water and the fact that you can ride and see this water and then go to this water and swim in this water. If you're coming here for a cycling training camp or a cycling vacation, it's just the best of both worlds, whether that's with your own family or just by yourself or with your mates. The fact that you can just enjoy, have a good vacation, have, a good quality training session or just, cycling vacation plus off the bike, you can just have the best of both worlds. I just think this is a crazy destination. It gets really foggy sometimes in the mountains, and I absolutely love that. One of my screensavers actually has mountains with, smoke and stuff. So it's just crazy how I've always had that. I've always gravitated towards that. And now I live in that region. So it's crazy. It's crazy how, just Antalya has everything you could really ask for. I really like football, and the football here is great. So, locally you can just go to a football game and just really enjoy yourself and immerse yourself into the culture and the football and just there's so many things to do here. You can't really ever get bored. So if you definitely come here for a week, there's a lot of things you can experience relatively close by and very easily. Now, you might be asking, why would I go to Turkey, Antalya for a cycling vacation / training camp when there's places like southern Spain, southern France, Italy, Greece? Why would I go to Turkey, Antalya? And I would say personally, it has the best bang for buck, meaning that the value that you get in Turkey is obviously going to be better than the value that you find in those European countries. Now, a lot of peddlers ask, why am I personally in Turkey, Antalya? And I would say to settle down here and to actually live, it's a lot easier and faster than figuring out the European side. Obviously, I'm from North America, and just going through that process takes a couple of years. So I decided personally that Turkey, Antalya is just such a quick place to set up for training, for riding. It's somewhere hot, somewhere where I can get the training in. It has the ocean, it has a Mediterranean lifestyle. So for that reason, I'm currently in Turkey, Antalya. And I would just say that really translates to training camps because I really don't find that I'm missing anything here. So in terms of before, when I used to live in North America, I used to always think Spain, Spain, Spain. I'm going to go to Girona. I'm going to train there if I have to go for a cycling training camp during the winter. And the thing about living in Turkey, Antalya is that it completely changed my mindset. I've learned that a lot of countries that are on the Eastern European side of the world come to Turkey for training camps instead of Europe. So you have countries like Kazakhstan, the national team comes here. Georgia comes here. A lot of other cycling teams, in terms of like country teams, come here for training camps rather than going to Spain or France. And I think it's because it's closer and you get a better bang for your buck. So if you actually, I will probably do a video comparing a training camp or a cycling vacation in, Spain, like the classic ones you would expect, Tenerife compared to training camp and vacation, cycling vacation in Turkey, Antalya, just because I think value. That's one thing I always talk about this channel is that, if you really want to go to see those places, like by all means, I'm not saying don't go, but if you're looking for the best bang for your buck, the best return, I think you'd be foolish not to actually do some research on Turkey, Antalya. And after watching this video, I think I shed a lot of good insight about the training routes. Like you have so many climbs. You can see here, all 22 kilometers, 8%, 40 kilometers, 7.3%, 10 kilometers, 6%, like any climbing that you want to do, you can get done here. The only thing I'm going to say as my con, that's one thing I almost forgot to add, is that, the cycling community here is not as big, obviously, as it would be in Europe. So I do understand that. But in terms of, like I said, bang for the buck, over time, hopefully the more videos I make about Turkey, Antalya, I can bring more people here, and the cycling community also grows in terms of just people knowing about the spot. But other than that's like my only con. But there are local riders, there are local group rides that I will figure out, because I do want people to be able to come here and just, you know, catch the group ride and know what time, what area to meet it at, because there's no information about that online. So this is like a part one, and I just really want to peel back the initial information about Turkey Antalya in terms of a cycling destination for vacation or for a training camp. Alanya is very huge for training camps as well, but I do want to shine light on Antalya because I think it has the best of both worlds. It has a big city, it's less tourist, you have a more authentic feeling, but it also is very much you know, hotel you know, tourism vibes, where you have the downtown core, you have malls, you have the mountains, you have nature, you have boat tours. Like, there's just so much to do. It's so central to everything. So I could ramble for a long time about Turkey Antalya, but I'm gonna leave it there. I will be dropping a part 2, and I'll probably do a comparison like I was saying. So I hope you found some value in this video. I just don't want to ramble, but I'm so passionate because the riding here has felt so peaceful. Like, riding in the mountain was so peaceful. You just feel one with your bike, if I can explain it. Just, there's no thought. You're just riding, and you're just riding to enjoy. So I'm gonna leave it there. If you found any value in this video and learned something about Turkey Antalya, then drop a like, subscribe to the channel, comment any questions you have about Turkey Antalya, and I will do my best to answer them down below. And hopefully you actually choose this for your next cycling vacation or training camp. And until the next one, keep on pedaling.